film opens with the introduction of a resilient elderly woman navigating her home. She embarks on a backyard excavation with her loyal companion, Jack the dog, unearthing a mysterious box. What follows is a masterful display of meat carving, providing sustenance for her furry friend. However, ominous weather sets in, foreshadowing an impending storm. The retrieved box appears to house old documents and photographs, which she methodically incinerates. The story takes a dark turn as she prepares to take her own life, clutching a suicide note and a firearm. A gunshot rings out, and the scene fades. Fast forward a few days, and the narrative continues, exploring the consequences of these enigmatic events. In Lou, we uncover a woman's post-hunting excursion, where she visits the bank and requests her entire savings. This action raises eyebrows among the bank staff, indicating Lou's substantial wealth. With a bag full of cash in hand, Lou departs, but the sheriff's inspection of her vehicle reveals a deer. When questioned, Lou confidently insists that the deer suddenly crossed her path before moving on, leaving the sheriff behind. Meanwhile, V and her mother, Hannah, live as tenants. While Hannah often tells V that her father is on a treasure hunt, the reality is different. Lou, in her customary fashion, arrives to collect Hannah's rent, instructing her to place the money on the table before dinner the next day. Lou's departure almost results in a collision with V. Shortly after, Chris, Hannah's friend, visits, and their conversation reveals a romantic connection between them. While returning, Chris encounters a rain-soaked stranger on the roadside, offering the man a ride. Unexpectedly, the stranger attacks Chris, his motives shrouded in mystery. Meanwhile, Hannah uses her savings to cover the rent. Later, we observe Lou destroying photographs and composing a letter to Hannah. In the letter, she conveys that the house now belongs to Hannah, who is free to sell it. Inside the freezer, there's a month's rent for Jax and some cash for Hannah. Despite her challenges in expressing it, Lou's affection for Hannah and V is evident. Perhaps the burdens of her past have brought her to a point where she contemplates suicide. In a separate twist, the lights in Hannah's house suddenly go out, and an intruder enters from behind while she checks the fuse. Chris's van is parked outside, leaving her perplexed as he had left long ago. She makes a startling discovery. Discovering Chris's lifeless body behind the van, the scene shifts back to Lou's home, where she's on the brink of ending her own life. Simultaneously, a visitor knocks on Lou's door, coinciding with Hannah's arrival, her face etched with terror. Attempting to reach the sheriff, she receives no response and expresses her fear that her husband, Philip, has returned, possibly kidnapping V. Unbeknownst to Lou, Hannah speaks of her husband, Philip, who has tracked her down on the remote island where she resides, far from the city. Hannah reveals a photograph of herself and her daughter with a hidden message, which Lou quickly deciphers as coded communication. Together, they venture outside, where Lou opens the hood of Hannah's car, unveiling a time bomb. She hurriedly escorts Hannah to safety as the car explodes. With the harrowing incident behind them, Lou is now determined to find V and shares her intention. Hannah and Lou find themselves 10 miles from the city, knowing they must locate V on their own. Hannah reveals that Philip is a soldier and an explosive specialist with a recent criminal record, making him a fugitive. Lou observes marks on the ground and deduces that Philip is pulling V in a tram, intending to reach a boat before they can rescue her. Lou suggests waiting for the storm to pass before alerting the sheriff, but Hannah disregards the advice, pressing on. Meanwhile, when V regains consciousness, she finds herself confined in a wooden cage, facing an unfamiliar person. Her anxiety subsides when she realizes it's her father, Philip, who reassures her about her mother's impending arrival. As Lou and Hannah continue their search, they encounter a house occupied by 2 individuals. Lou separates from Hannah and approaches the home, where she fabricates a story about her missing dog in the rain to engage the man outside. As they enter the house, Lou realizes that V is missing, raising suspicions. To defend herself, Lou throws hot soup at one of the individuals, leading to a brief confrontation where Lou's remarkable abilities are showcased. She extracts information from one of the men and swiftly eliminates him, leaving Hannah with doubts about Lou's true nature. After a series of questions, Lou reveals that she served as a CIA field agent for 26 years. Hannah discovers a walkie-talkie and considers alerting the sheriff, but Lou insists on keeping it off to maintain their cover and ensure her safety while she seeks answers about her circumstances. Meanwhile, Philip continues his journey toward the shore, and Hannah succumbs to temptation, turning on the walkie-talkie despite Lou's warnings. Once Hannah reactivates the walkie-talkie to contact the sheriff, Philip becomes aware of her presence and rushes toward the sea. This prompts Lou to deduce from the marks on Hannah's hands that her husband had assaulted her, a truth concealed until their marriage. It was only after marrying Philip that Hannah confronted his true character. On their journey, Hannah spots a damaged tram for girls, realizing it's stranded due to a broken bridge ahead, an obstacle Philip can't cross. Lou instructs Jax to return home safely before attempting the bridge crossing. Hannah attempts to follow Lou, but her injured hand impedes her progress, leading to both of them falling off the bridge. They narrowly escape drowning in the river, making it to the shore unharmed. However, they fail to locate V. Upon encountering an ancient, decaying ship, Hannah's anxiety surges. Lou offers reassurance, suggesting this may be part of Philip's plan. On the ship, they find a photo of V and a teddy bear, deepening the mystery. While observing a distant boat billowing with smoke and realizing that Philip is aware of their presence, Lou and Hannah recognize the danger. Lou instructs Hannah to call the sheriff from a mountaintop before heading toward the source of the smoke. She spots V sleeping safely from a distance, but as she approaches, Philip confronts her at gunpoint. Meanwhile, Hannah receives a signal to contact the sheriff, but the connection is abruptly severed. It's then revealed that Lou and Philip share a complex history. Lou is Philip's mother, and he despises her. He kidnaps V to exact revenge on Lou. Hannah remains unaware of this truth, and Lou explains that Philip was abducted as a toddler. Due to her previous life as a spy, Lou was constrained from searching for her son. Over time, Philip's contempt for his mother grew, despite their hidden relationship. In an attempt to shield Hannah and V from her son's wrath, Lou concealed the fact that Philip was her son. However, her actions were driven by her fear of his potential harm to them. She had never found the courage to reveal the truth to Hannah. Philip eventually harms his mother and departs with his daughter, V. The sheriff becomes aware of Hannah's situation and her kidnapped daughter, but the police advise him to stay away from the matter. The sheriff learns that both Lou and Philip are wanted by the CIA, with Philip being a legendary fugitive. In reality, the CIA seeks their elimination. While examining Lou's belongings for medical supplies, Hannah discovers various photographs that suggest the notes left by Philip were intended for Lou, not herself. This revelation raises suspicions about Lou's role in the unfolding events. Lou then admits her identity as Philip's mother and explains how she organized Hannah's safety on the island. Hannah's trust in Lou is subsequently restored. Lou reveals to Hannah that Philip has taken V to the lighthouse, prompting Hannah to head there alone. In the meantime, the sheriff arrives with the help of Jax and notices Lou's injury. He asks Lou to fetch some supplies so he can tend to her. Lou departs on her bike towards the lighthouse. As Hannah approaches the lighthouse, she spots Philip and V standing at the top. She bravely ascends to meet them, despite Philip initially trying to prevent V from reuniting with her mother. Hannah informs Philip that she and V will be moving downstairs as part of their relocation. A confrontation ensues, with Hannah brandishing a gun and carelessly shooting Philip. In response, Philip attacks her, leading to a struggle. Hannah manages to stab him in the hand before making a swift exit to retrieve V. Upon her return, Hannah discovers that Philip has rigged a remote-controlled explosive and still has the remote in his possession. Meanwhile, Lou arrives at the scene and begins to tinker with the situation. Hannah drives down a narrow route, with both of them still inside the lighthouse. When Philip notices Lou, he reaches for the bomb remote, but when he presses the button, the bomb fails to detonate. Lou has already defused it. Following this, Lou and Hannah manage to escape the lighthouse. Lou becomes aware that the CIA is searching for them as she spots a chopper in the sky. Using a walkie-talkie, she remotely triggers the bomb, obliterating the lighthouse deliberately to divert the CIA's attention away from Philip. She instructs Hannah and V to leave and leaves a letter for Hannah at home. Later, when Philip arrives, Lou tries to prevent him from carrying out his plans. The mother and her enraged son engage in a heated argument before finally embracing and shedding tears. While they reconcile, Lou keeps an eye on the chopper in the sky and offers an apology to Philip. In a dramatic turn of events, Lou is shot by the man in the chopper, and both of them plummet into the water. After an extensive search, the people in the chopper assume they are dead and depart. The story then transitions to Lou's home, where her body remains unrecovered. The CIA has been investigating Hannah for months, as Lou possesses records hinting that the CIA influenced the fate of the country back in 1953. As the film draws to a close, Hannah and V are seen preparing to leave Lou's home following the CIA investigations, bidding farewell to the sheriff. They board a ferry along with Jax, and his attention is drawn to a figure on the upper deck partially concealed. The camera angle shifts, revealing a woman's arm bearing a scar resembling Lou's, adorned with a copper bracelet. Through binoculars, she observes her granddaughter and daughter-in-law, concluding the movie.